Caroline Ellison is facing 110 years in federal prison. She may have received the greatest plea deal we've ever seen. I'm going to show you the actual plea deal documentation, how much time Caroline Ellison is likely facing now, as well why Sam Bankman-Fried is likely up the creek after the latest move he just made. By no means think that this trial is just going to go by very quickly. Here's a Cornell law professor's opinion on how long this trial can take.
But this is probably a huge amount of discovery that we will see in this case. We could be years with an S at the end away before a trial.
Here's a quick reminder of when the 7 charges were brought against Caroline Ellison and Gary Wang, the former co-founder.
The Southern District of New York has filed charges against Caroline Ellison, the former CEO of Alameda Research, and Gary Wang. Both Ms. Ellison and Mr. Wang have pled guilty to those charges, and they are both cooperating with the Southern District of New York.
And here's the actual 7 charges. So as I stated, 110 years in federal prison. Now let's take an actual look at the plea deal. I'm going to point out a few things really quickly. Then we'll quickly discuss how much time she's looking at now and what this means for Sam Bankman-Fried. United States versus Caroline Ellison. And then you go further down and you see the actual counts. It's count 1 all the way through count 7 right here. These are thorough descriptions of the actual counts and what they mean, the actual code. You see the total maximum sentence of incarceration on counts 1 through 7 of the information is 110 years imprisonment. If the defendant fully complies with the understanding specified in the agreement, the defendant will not be further prosecuted criminally by the office for any crimes except for the criminal tax violations. You see Caroline Ellison's signature, and that was signed on December the 19th. This deal has essentially given Caroline Ellison the ability to walk away from this scot-free. Now, have you ever seen this in any other case? Normally, whenever there is a conviction, certainly white collar of this magnitude, even accountants and employees of that nature get the book thrown at them pretty heavily. She was the CEO and could possibly walk away with no time. Do you think she should get off like that for flipping on Sam Bankman-Fried, or do you think she should do jail time? Now, what does that mean for Sam Bankman-Fried? Well, here's the decision he made yesterday.
Sam Bankman-Fried has pleaded not guilty to charges of defrauding customers and investors.
Just to provide context, the Southern District of New York's conviction rate is over 95%. Only 2% of the cases actually even go to trial, and people usually take a plea deal. Now, that data was from a report from 2016, but from what I could see, those numbers have not changed very much. And here's a quick reminder on the charges and time he's facing. 8
criminal counts of fraud, money laundering, and other financial crimes. If convicted on all of those charges, Bankman-Fried could serve up to 115 years in prison.
With Caroline Ellison and Gary Wang taking the deal, this is not a good thing for Sam Bankman-Fried. Now, I had heard that he was going to potentially take a plea deal, but he's decided against that. Those conviction rates that I told you about, that's not in his favor. Sam Bankman-Fried's media run was not very helpful, let's face it. No one that spent time on the media trying to plead their case or say what happened has been viewed very favorable. Then you take the fact that Gary Wang and Caroline Ellison went ahead and took a plea deal. It's just not looking good for Sam Bankman-Fried. I would say Sam Bankman-Fried is likely to spend at least the next 50 years in jail. If that were the case, he would be getting out at 80 years old. Have you seen anyone get a sweeter deal than Caroline Ellison just got? Facing 110 years and looks like she could possibly walk scot-free.